Welcome back, too. Tommy's been a little ill lately. Glad to see him. Don Scudder starts our championship match on the left lane. Whew. Got a break.
Saw that shot last week.
Really looked like he was pumped up, ready to go. He threw that ball hard.
Sure did.
Head pin came off the wall, took the 5 pin out. It's got a simple spare to shoot.
We'd also like to thank the Hudepohl distributor for this area. It's Pessler Distributors and Doug Pessler and Ray Canoe, who are somewhere back here. We'd like to thank them for coming out and supporting us today. Brian Himmler's 2-game total is 516. Just needs a clean 200 for awesome. 700 series for his first performance.
That ain't all bad.
That's how he got 516 for 2 games. He's going to continue in that tradition. I think that move he made in that last frame gave him good anticipation into this game.
That's right, and you just always have to maximize your opportunities, and if you've got a free shot somewhere in a match, you really do have to take it. I'd like to take just a minute to congratulate old Tom Fuzzy Jones. Tom bowled 300 in the city tournament. I think it was this week. Congratulations, Fuzzy. Those are hard to get.
Brian Himmler up on the left lane with the strike up in the first. Wham! Another one. Boy, he's really hot. You know, and I'd like to say that even though Brian is 15, we can't knock the youth program of which he's come out of. Not every kid can do what he's done at 15. And you should maximize, you know, your years in the youth program because it's very constructive. He's an exceptional young kid.
There's an exceptional old kid. Stone 8 on a great, great shot. Let's take a look at it, see if we can see what happens here. Normally on a solid 8, the 5 pin is going to go in front of the 8. 5 pin, second one back, middle of your screen. Now there, the ball's just hitting it. You see it going right in front of the 8 pin. That's what normally happens, and that's what happened. And that's what normally happens when Don Scudder shoots a 1-pin spare.
Oh, no doubt. He's one of the great spare shooters in the game today. That's
right. He's going against one of the, I don't know, he's too young to call him great yet, but I tell you what, he's awfully impressive. He's got a lot to prove over the next several years, but I'm telling you, he's got all the tools he needs. If he stays healthy and he stays smart, he's going to be a very, very good bowler in this town, or anywhere for that matter. Don Scudder answering again with a strike on the left lane.
Brian, even though he is 15, he's really very mature for his age. And I think the youth program that I was talking about before is one reason why he is so sharp at such a young age. He's traveled around Ohio, gotten into a lot of tournaments, got some scholarship money, and here he is. Little high, couldn't trip that 4 out.
Our champion from last week, Don Scudder, was employing some of Riga Kalfas's technique right there. He was sitting just to the right of Brian with his head down, not watching. Let's see if he does that again. He tried to bowl within himself. There you go. Just trying to stay within your own game and not let what your opponent does affect what you do. Not raising his head until he hears the pin. You know, some negative ways that can affect you, Jen. I don't know if it ever bothered you, but if you're bowling a 1-pin or a 1-game match and your opponent happens to get a fortunate break, let's say on a head that he or she shouldn't have carried, sometimes that can take a little bit out of you.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
You know, you start figuring, why me? You know, why does this have to happen to me? Well, it's just the way it is.
10 frames sometimes just isn't enough to even out. But in most cases, I would say it is.
Wow.
Look at that.
Let's take a look at it and his eyes. The intensity here again is evident. The lips just absolutely riveted shut, and at the bottom of the swing, a little bit of a grunt and a maximum release. And these pins have no other choice but to get the heck out of the way.
I thought that was Mike Singletary for a minute. Was I wrong? Look just like those eyes.
Oh no. Oh no.
Hey, Don made this last year on our show.
On the right lane. Yeah, it hides lanes as a matter of fact. 4-9. A ball that he eased up with a little bit. Let's take a look at it here if we can. A 4-9. What happens here is that the ball cuts off sharply going through the pocket and actually goes to the left of the 9-pin. It's about a half an inch or a quarter of an inch away from being a strike. Instead, it's a split and not an easy one. Remember, only makes it about 3 out of 10 times.
Look out. Not quite enough.
A little bit too
Good
much
effort,
oil
though.
going across the lane.
Don Scudder is an investigator. The investigator. Maybe it's not Mr. Intent.
Inspector Clouseau. No. He's not clumsy. I'm not implying that at all. He's just a super fun guy. And a great bowler. And to come back after a bad break like a 4-9 and rivet one home for a solid strike, that tells you a lot about him. Score sheet we're going to see. It's going to show Mr. Bryan in the lead here by, probably about 30.
21?
Well, almost 30-some pins, Jen, if he happens to capitalize on this next strike. And the way he's hammering him home here, that's a distinct possibility. Don Scudder, there you see him sitting on the bench, head down, as we pointed out before. Wow. Smack. Get out of town. I knew he was good, and I knew he'd do well, but he's even impressing me. And it took the Niagara Falls to impress me, Jim. I had to see them before. Canadian side was the only impressive part about the falls. The American side, I said, So I walked over and said, yeah, that's Brian Himmler, sure. Kid is good. He's going to be around for a lot of years. Just stay healthy, Brian, and we're going to have another premier bowler out of Cincinnati.
He's up 32 pins at this point in the game.
Whew.
Make that 42 confidence.
Oh, we're seeing a lot of things today, folks. We're seeing a lot of things today. That ball, no human being should have struck on, but the revolutions created the 6-pin coming out of the channel and just took the 10 out. Anybody else, it would have been a weak 10.
You can be sure Don Scudder is going to be right in the pocket this round. You don't let him get away too far.
No. Don Scudder's like a Cincinnati cold. It doesn't go away right away.
Well, you're clever today, Dave. I'm telling you.
Why?
Got all the lines.
I hired a writer in Tommy's absence. I knew I'd need a few, so.
Very good, very good.
Don Scudder on the left lane, as we can see, is not giving up. He knows that his opponent can make a mistake. He's human. Mr. Intensity. Left lane. It's close. There you go.
He trips that
Look at the reaction there. Look at the reaction there. It's almost like in your face, right?
You got it.
The balls are intimidating each other, and what we're seeing here is great sportsmanship between the two players. The slapping of the hands on the way back. I mean, that's great.
It's the name of the game. It's competition.
Well, we're not really sure that they're pulling for each other. As a matter of fact, I can safely say they're probably not. But on the outside, they're not wishing each other any bad misfortune either. They just want to go up and make the best shot they possibly can. Look at it. Oh, the move worked.
Brian's going at a good 250 pace now. If he goes all the way out, he's got 279, which gets him darn near close to an 800 series for 3 games.
32 pins up as we speak, and 32 pins with 3 frames to go with a guy that's lined up and 14 revolutions before the ball hits the lane. It's going to be tough. That's an exaggeration. I know, but it's going to be tough to beat, even for a champion as strong as Don Scudder.
It's wide.
Yeah, it's wide. It's wide, and look what happens. The extreme power of the ball, Jen. Just too much to go to. Let's take a look at it here on the replay. Jen called it. Yes, it was wide. But that super turn, maximum revolution, head pin center of your screen, going to go to the left wall, come off, kick the 4 into the 5, and then in there. There you see it.
Unbelievable.
Plus 32 and climbing. 2 frames to go. 3 for Mr. Scudder, and he's got to have X's. He's got to have all X's to even be in this match.
And of course, Don, as we said before, he's an investigator. He's single, and his average presently is 219. And I can tell you, you can't meet a nicer guy. I wouldn't want to bowl him for any amount of money, but off the lane, he's a super nice guy.
You know, that's like saying my girlfriend, she's got a really nice personality. Like, come on, that's...
Dead giveaway or something like that.
Don Scudder's got a lot of talents. One of them happens to be bowling, and we're watching him.
Yes!
We're watching him display those talents today. He's going to put it on Brian. He's going to make him work. Let's look at it on the replay. Don Scudder's not going to turn over a shovel full of dirt and say, I'm out of here yet. There you go. 1-3, flush it out of here. 10 in the pit. Every pin doing its job. Brian Himmler has an opportunity to put this match away with a couple of strikes.
Don Scudder still with a 247 potential.
Whoa. Whoa. He's been maxed out all day, guys, but I'll tell you what, watch this. He physically comes off his feet to throw this one. Look at it, just comes right up off the ball. Just maximum turn revolution. Yeah, it's going to hold. Sure, Bri. No problem. You're out of here, 4-pin. And this one belongs to Brian Himmler. And boy, did he earn it. If he shoots 279 this game, let's see, what do we got?
Darn near close to 790, don't we?
790 something.
Tim McGill, our statistician, once again, he's going to help me out with this one.
No, didn't get the light shaker that time. I tell you what, until today, a teammate of mine from Thursday night, the Wright brothers team on Thursday, I think we're like 62 and 5. We're doing all right.
Wow.
Yeah, we're doing okay. But John Kibbe was the youngest player to ever appear on King of Bowling prior to Brian Himmler today, and he was 16 years old. Look.
Oops. Uh-oh.
246. I tell you what, if Don Scudder can strike out in the 10th frame, he will win by 1 pin. Look at
And you
Brian.
can be sure Don's going to be close. He jumped up out of his seat when Brian missed that spare.
Brian, I tell you what, nobody could be more disappointed by missing a single pin spare, and nobody could take advantage of it like this guy. Like we said, Jen, you never, ever count Don Scudder out.
Never.
The situation is this: a strike and 9, he ties. A double, he wins by 1 stick.
Don Scudder just thrives on this sort of situation.
Look at him. You bet he thrives on it. If you could hear the wheels cranking.
It's close.
Yep.
Oh.
Week 10. Got the ball in just a hair. Let's see if we can pick it up on a replay here. He really gave him a shot. Gets the ball in just a little bit of his target, not the good clean roll that he's thrown the other time. 6-pin is going to go to the right here. That's the 6-pin going to the channel. It tried to come out, but just didn't have enough on it. Brian Himmler goes to win anyway, but I'll tell you what, thank Don for some real thrills here towards the end. We'll be right back. We're going to give away some money to our champion, 246, Brian Himmler, Don Scudder, runner-up, 236. Stay tuned. A great showdown between two champions. Don Scudder, I'd like to just ask you a quick question. At the second ball in the 10th, what'd you do on that one?
I just lost the ball, and at the bottom of the swing, I was worried too much about getting the ball down the lane, and I think maybe my timing was just a little off in the second or third step, and I just lost the ball.
Well, you bowled great last week and this week. Brian, 761 was your total. $750, pretty close. Analogy, that's the third highest total ever on the King of Bowling. Congratulations. Brian, you showed a lot of poise out there in the lanes today. How'd you feel?
Well, I felt really confident. The first couple shots I was a little fast, and then I started to calm down as the show went on, and that was the key. And the lanes were really conducive to the way I bowl. So.
Obviously so. You look super. We'll be glad to look at you again next week here on the BPA King of Bowling. Make sure you join us noon on Channel 5.
Cincinnati BPA 14K King of Bowling. Brought to you by 14K, Cincinnati's legendary premium beer. 14K, the one, the only, the original.